Horror. Painful and intense fear, dread, or dismay. Intense aversion or repugnance. The state of extreme depression or apprehension. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 355, and the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is Eden Lake. Eden Lake is written and directed by James Watkins, and it stars Kelly Reilly and Michael Fassbender, who you guys would most likely know from Inglourious Basterds. He was also in an awesome little movie done by Steve McQueen that was released on Criterion called Hunger. He gives a fantastic performance in that. Check that out if you have not. Eden Lake is the story about this couple who basically just want to get away, go on a little vacation, head over to the lake for some sun, some relaxation, and maybe a dip in the water. And as they're on this lake, they come across this kind of group of thuggish looking kids who are all about 13 to 15 years old maybe. They start kind of playing their music really loudly. Michael Fassbender's character gets a little upset, asks them to turn it down, and they frankly act like a couple dicks to this couple. And as the film goes on, some things start to happen with the kids. I don't want to give too much away, but they end up stealing the car from this couple at one point, and events lead to bloodshed, let's just say. Eden Lake is a pretty horrific horror film, if I can say that. I don't necessarily think that it's scary, but I think the definition of horror is clearly defined within this film. I think the things that these characters endure are truly horrific and disturbing at times. And I think one of the reasons Eden Lake works so incredibly well is that you actually care about these characters, about Michael Fassbender and Kelly Reilly. Their performances in the film are fantastic, and I think that they actually add a lot of depth to their characters, so as the film's going on and you're not sure whether or not they're going to live or die, you really care about what's going on. And I also think one immensely fascinating thing that this film does is that it plays with the audience's perception of who is right and who is wrong. And it's true that once these kids initially start terrorizing this couple, you are like, these kids are the bad guys. But as the film progresses and you start to see, you know, some of the horrors that the couple endures, and as well as some of the things that these kids endure at the hands of this couple, you start to wonder whose side is actually right here. Is vengeance necessarily a correct thing to do in this situation if the people you're extracting vengeance against are 13 to 15-year-olds? And it's a film that by the end of it, it ends on such a dark, ballsy, depressing, kind of thought-provoking note that I don't think any American-made horror movie would ever have the guts to do. And I think that it's an ending that's probably going to anger some people, and I think at the same time make a lot of people think about the film they just watched and think about just kind of, I guess, horror movies in general and why people like violence and why that's entertaining to certain people, because I think it's an incredibly fascinating horror movie, albeit quite depressing and disturbing. It really pushes the R rating for its level of gore and violence and kind of torture that goes on throughout this film. But I think for what it is, as far as a horror film in a very artful way, I would almost compare it to Funny Games a little bit in that sense. I'm going to give Eden Lake an incredibly strong 4 out of 5. I found it to be thoroughly effective at what it was trying to do. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will be back tomorrow with another one for you.